What if I told you that one of the most peaceful countries in the world today once survived against a superpower with almost no chance of winning? A land of endless forests, frozen lakes, and quiet towns. A place many people today associate with happiness, education, and safety. But hidden beneath this calm image is a history filled with survival, courage, and unbelievable determination. This is the untold story of Finland. For centuries, Finland was not even an independent country. For almost 600 years, it was ruled by the Kingdom of Sweden. Swedish kings controlled its lands, its laws, and its people. Finnish language and culture were often pushed aside, while Swedish elites dominated politics and education. But the story did not stop there. In 1809, after a war between Sweden and the Russian Empire, Finland was taken by Russia and became the Grand Duchy of Finland under the Russian Tsar. For the next 100 years, Finland lived under Russian rule. At first, the Tsars allowed Finland some autonomy. Finland kept its own laws, currency, and even its own parliament. But things began to change in the late 1800s. Russia started a policy called Russification. The goal was simple: erase Finnish identity and make Finland fully Russian. Russian language was forced into administration and the military. Finnish institutions were slowly dismantled. But something unexpected happened. Instead of breaking the Finnish spirit, these policies awakened a powerful national identity. Writers, poets, and thinkers began reviving Finnish culture. One of the most important symbols of this awakening was the Kalevala, a collection of ancient Finnish folklore and epic poems compiled in the 1800s. It reminded the people that their culture was ancient and worth protecting. Then came one of the most shocking events in Finnish history. In 1904, a Finnish nationalist named Eugen Schauman assassinated the Russian Governor-General Nikolai Bobrikov in Helsinki. Bobrikov was the man responsible for enforcing harsh Russian policies in Finland. Schauman shot him inside the Senate building and then took his own life. For many Finns, Schauman became a symbol of resistance. The message was clear: Finland would not quietly disappear. Then history gave Finland an unexpected opportunity. In 1917, the Russian Empire collapsed during the Russian Revolution. As chaos spread across Russia, Finland declared independence on December 6, 1917. But independence did not bring peace. Instead, Finland immediately fell into a brutal civil war in 1918. The country split into two sides: the Reds, who were inspired by socialism and supported by Bolshevik Russia, and the Whites, who wanted a more conservative, independent Finland. The war was short but devastating. Neighbor fought neighbor. Brother fought brother. Thousands died, and the wounds from that conflict would remain in Finnish society for decades. Eventually, the Whites won, and Finland remained independent. But the young nation still faced a terrifying challenge. Just over 20 years later, the Soviet Union returned. In November 1939, the Soviet Union, led by Joseph Stalin, demanded Finnish territory near Leningrad. Finland refused. Stalin believed the small nation would collapse quickly. Instead, the world witnessed one of the most incredible military resistances in modern history. This was the Winter War. The Soviet Union attacked with over 400,000 soldiers, thousands of tanks, and massive air power. Finland had barely 180,000 troops, limited equipment, and almost no tanks. On paper, Finland had no chance. But Finland had something the Soviets did not expect: knowledge of the harsh northern environment and an unbreakable will to defend their homeland. Finnish soldiers moved silently through deep snow on skis. They wore white camouflage and knew the forests better than anyone. Small Finnish units would surround large Soviet columns, cut their supply lines, and attack with lightning speed. One of the most legendary figures of the war was a Finnish sniper named Simo Häyhä. Nicknamed the White Death, Häyhä became one of the most effective snipers in history. Fighting in freezing temperatures as low as -40 degrees Celsius, he used simple iron sights instead of scopes to avoid giving away his position. In just about 100 days, he was credited with over 500 confirmed kills. Imagine that. One man defending his country against an invading army in the frozen wilderness. Soviet soldiers reportedly feared the forests themselves, believing invisible Finnish fighters were everywhere. Despite this incredible resistance, the Soviet Union's overwhelming numbers eventually forced Finland to sign a peace treaty in 1940. Finland lost about 11% of its territory, including the city of Viipuri, but the most important thing survived. Finland remained independent. For a small nation facing one of the largest armies in the world, simply surviving was seen as a victory. And Finland's story didn't end there. During World War II, Finland fought again in what was called the Continuation War, trying to reclaim lost territory. Eventually, Finland had to fight another conflict called the Lapland War, pushing former German allies out of northern Finland. In just a few years, Finland fought 3 separate wars. The country was exhausted, its cities damaged, and its economy fragile. But what Finland did next is something many people don't know. Instead of collapsing, Finland rebuilt itself in one of the most remarkable transformations in modern history. The country invested heavily in education. Schools were redesigned to focus on equality, creativity, and critical thinking rather than strict memorization. Teachers became some of the most respected professionals in society. Over time, Finland's education system became one of the best in the world. At the same time, Finland carefully balanced its relationship with the Soviet Union during the Cold War. The country remained democratic and independent, but maintained a cautious foreign policy to avoid provoking its powerful neighbor. This strategy helped Finland survive the dangerous Cold War period without losing its freedom. And today, the same country that once fought for survival in frozen forests is known for something very different. Finland consistently ranks among the happiest countries in the world. It has world-class education, strong social trust, low corruption, and one of the highest standards of living anywhere on Earth. But when you walk through the quiet forests of Finland today, it's easy to forget the struggles hidden in its past. The snow-covered fields where soldiers once skied into battle. The small villages that survived wars, revolutions, and empires. And the people who refused to give up their identity, even when history seemed determined to erase it. Finland's story is not just about war or politics. It's about resilience. It's about a nation that survived centuries of foreign rule, brutal conflict, and impossible odds, and still managed to build one of the most peaceful societies in the world. And perhaps that is the most powerful lesson of all. Sometimes the quietest countries have the loudest histories.